All right, I guess I'm live. I don't know if this is working. It is 5:41 p.m. That's Valerie in the van there. We just walked out of the hospital. We arrived at 10:13 this morning. Got here. Before we got here, I called on the way here because we didn't know exactly where to go. You know, this hospital is bigger than anything we have in Anderson. So called first to find out exactly where to go. They told me where to go. We finally made it to where we were supposed to go, and gave the two millennial-looking young men my name, told them what I was there for, you know, my daughter's surgery. I said, as far as I know, I was told it starts at noon, and that she was to arrive an hour and a half early, before noon, so 10:30. Valerie and I arrived at 10:13. I thought it was kind of funny. I could tell something was up, and as soon as I could tell this, I knew where this day was headed. Right away, they started, we're not finding her in the system. We don't have that name here. Are you sure she's having her surgery here? And so I took out my phone and I showed them the phone number that I called for the place that they are sitting at right there. They tried to act like the phone number that I called was not their exact desk that I called like 20 minutes before. And so I knew where this was going. So the guy, I just kind of played along. He wrote down my daughter's name and date of birth he asked for. And then he got up like he was going to go do something about it. No, I'm not really mad at him. He was just doing what he was instructed to do, because this has been the pattern before. When I try to call and find out anything about my children at a hospital or doctors or anything like that, I get the run around because my ex-wife has done nothing but given them directions and instructions on what they're supposed to do and not tell me this. It happened all this week when I was calling to try to even find out what time my daughter was supposed to be there, because my ex-wife would not even tell me what time my own daughter was supposed to be in a hospital for a heart surgery. A heart surgery. She wasn't coming here today to get her braces tightened or get a cast taken off. Just this freaking heart surgery. Man, would not even give me that information. So I had to call. And when I would call, I would get switched around no less than 6 times. And every time, we're switching you to the what do they call it, to the surgery center. Oh, well, I thought ma'am, I appreciate it, but I thought I was just switched to the surgery center. Oh, no, this isn't it. 5, 4, 5, 6 more times I get switched around. Finally, I asked, this was yesterday, because I needed to know what time I needed to be here. I finally said, okay, ma'am, I've been switched around a lot. I'm sure you guys have a lot of sections to the hospital. You know, I'm trying to be as nice as I can at this point. I said, could you just give me the phone number to the building that has the people in it that are going to do the surgery on my daughter? Could you give me that number to where the people are that are going to put their hands on my daughter and have the machines and everything that are actually going to do the surgery? Can you give me the number of that? And they were very reluctant. And, you know, I could tell whenever I would call these places, at first when they would answer the phone, they seemed totally just fine. And then when I tell them my name, there's a pause. And I can tell that they're reading something on their screens, some kind of information, some kind of warning or instructions or something like that. And then the next thing you know, their voices change, their countenance change, their whole demeanor changes. And again, I can't really be mad at them because they haven't talked to me. They've only talked to my ex-wife and heard her side of it. So for all they know, I'm some dangerous criminal with a record who's done who knows what. And I understand that. I mean, it's not right. It's horrible. Because remember, this is freaking dang Joseph Goody Two Shoes Dixon. Never touched a drop of alcohol. Never done a mess with any kind of illegal substance. I don't even speed. People used to hate to ride with me. Dude, you're going 30. Yeah, it's the law. I don't break one freaking law. I don't do one thing wrong. And I can't even find out what time my daughter's having surgery. man. So anyway, that was yesterday. So we're here today. I'm waiting on the guy to do whatever he's going to do. So as soon as he leaves to go down the hall to do whatever he's going to do, I know what's going to happen. I didn't have time to walk over. I didn't even have enough time to walk over to Valerie and say, okay, Valerie, you see what's going on? They're pretending like they don't know about Sarah. So as soon as I realize that, I know what's going to happen. I know that any minute now, there's going to be police, hospital security, SWAT team. Who knows? It wasn't even a minute later. I don't know why I sat down. It was stupid to sit down. I sat down. Next thing you know, here's a police officer, here's hospital security, and here's another lady. And again, can't be mad at them. They're just doing their job, So, and because they're doing their job, and I'm a nice guy, I'm just like, yes, could you come over and speak to us and for a moment here? And I said, well, can my wife come? This is my wife, my child's stepmom. No, she's fine. So I'll go walk over there with them. At this point, the whole waiting room is looking at me like I'm a criminal, or this is about to be an episode off Jerry Springer. So, and I've been going through this for 5.5 years. When I pick up my children, there's police there with their hands on their guns, and this is a real good thing for you to police to see every time you pick up the kids, and that is the few crumbs of time that I get to have with them when I do pick them up. Anyway, so they begin. I can tell what they're going to say, and I already have my paper in my hand. See, she just filed for another false protective order last Friday, and it was denied. Well, wouldn't you know it, she perfectly timed this one. They had the new one in their hands. And so I knew that either I was not going to get to see my daughter, or that it was going to be very difficult. It was going to be, it was just going to be a lot of drama. So, remember I said there was a police officer, and hospital security, and another lady. The other lady was a pediatric, what she called herself, a pediatric, social worker, pediatric social worker, and she explained to me what, kind of what her role is, just to kind of be the person in the middle. And since now I have a brand new false protective order, this protective order didn't even have anything like concrete. It was just vague. It didn't even say what I have supposedly done or whatever lies she's made up this time. It had nothing like that on it. So, well, I guess it takes even less to get a protective order than we all thought before. At least before, you had to write something on it, some kind of lie. This didn't even have any of that on it. So anyway, I had to sign that I'd been served, and I told them, I said, I'm the nicest guy in the world, not going to be any trouble. I just want to see my daughter before you take her back, and I'd like to see her afterwards. And I said that I just want to speak to all the same staff people that she gets to speak to. I want them to come and talk to me. I don't want to be handed, like a piece of paper at the end of the day. All right, sorry, fella. Yeah, thank you for coming. I want to talk to who would not want to talk to the same people that your ex is getting to talk to? Golly, man, this is your child. So already I know this is just going to be a horrible time. So they go away. I sit down and finally read through this piece of crap, 3 pages, piece of crap, false protective order. And then I had to give the social worker my phone number. So she called me back, and she sounded very sad. I'm so sorry. Get ready for this, Facebook. Get ready for this. Mr. Dixon, I'm so sorry. We've talked to the mother. Get ready. Check it out. The mother refuses to leave the bedside. See, since now there's another false protective order in place, can't be around her. So to block me from seeing my own daughter, she would not leave the bedside. So, again, I couldn't be mad at the social worker. She's just doing her job. Matter of fact, from what I gather, she was going above and beyond, trying to continue to talk to my ex-wife, trying to talk her into just leaving the room just for, I said, I actually asked for 80 seconds. 80 seconds before you put my little girl to sleep for heart surgery. 80 seconds. 80 seconds, man. I mean, things happen in surgeries. Things happen with anesthesia. And she's only 9 years old. And I can't see her for 80 seconds. Sorry, y'all. Usually I speak way better than this, but you got to understand, this has been one of the worst days ever, and I've had a lot in the last almost 5 years. So anyway, get off the phone, and then a little bit later, her and another lady come down. I forgot the title of the other lady, but she was very nice and helpful. This other lady let me know that they had both been talking to the mother, and that they were even delaying the surgery to try to get the mother to let me see, to leave the bedside just so I could see the child for 80 seconds. Can you believe that? And so I said, you know what, don't do that, because machines have been put in place, there's staff here, there's things in motion. I said, don't delay the surgery. I said, even with this silliness going on, this is still about my daughter. We're here, this whole thing is about my daughter. This is heart surgery. I don't want to, even though I'm not causing it, I said, I don't want to do or agree to anything that could hinder it or put things off schedule. I said, whatever, if it's supposed to start at noon, it starts at noon. And I thanked them for trying hard to get her. I explained to them how inflexible she'll be and rigid, and they're just wasting their time. But I really appreciated that they were trying to talk her into letting me see my child for 80 freaking seconds. So I went ahead and told them, no, just go ahead and go with things on schedule. So then someone else came down to let me know that every step of the way they're going to bring some. Valerie and I had to stay in a different section than my ex did, and so maybe an hour and a half or so later they come down to let me know that the surgery has started. Then a little bit later they come to let me know things are going well, and then again they came to say that things are going well. Then they finally came to let me know that it was done, and they were, I think, not wrapping up, maybe they said closing up. And so I don't know. Now check this out, Facebook. Get ready for this. Oh, Joseph, you shouldn't post all this personal stuff on Facebook. Yeah, bump that. I'm saying it all. I really ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, when you can't go see your own daughter before a heart surgery, and you get false protective order number 3 slapped on you. And remember, people, all of you that want to play devil's advocate, all of you that don't want to listen to anybody else's side of the story, this can happen to you. This can happen to your son. And you better hope it ain't, because then you're going to be wanting to call me to ask what to do, because you didn't believe me in the first place. So anyway, I like I said in the very beginning, I just want to be able to talk to all the same staff that my ex talks to, so I can hear the information. I mean, golly, how do you not want to know how'd it go? What happened? What did you do? I mean, what parent would not want to know that? So, a bunch of time is going by. I'm like wondering, man, what's going on with the doctor? A lady comes back in, and all these people were very nice. None of them were snooty or crappy. I think that they could all, just from being humans with a brain, they could kind of tell the kind of person that they were dealing with. And I'm not talking about me. So I think they could tell. They were so nice and helpful. They really were. But she come to let me know that the doctor's done, but he usually doesn't come right out to speak to the parents or whatever, that it'd be a little while. So it was really taking a while. Finally, another lady came back in and said, "You talked to the doctor yet?" No. So she took some time, and she comes back in and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's already talked to her." Get ready, Facebook. Then we find out that she told the freaking doctor that the doctor did not know that he was allowed to talk to me. You know what I just said? The doctor did not know that he was allowed to talk to me. the doctor was gone. He had left. So I'm out here in the parking lot going back and forth. Been here since 10:13 for a heart surgery of my own daughter that I was not allowed, that I was screwed out of seeing. And then I don't even get to hear from the doctor what they did, how it went, nothing like that. So, if you're one of the spies, if you're one of the ones that have been on the fence about this whole thing, I hope you listen to what I said. I'm so I hate that it was not delivered in such the best way. I can actually usually talk way better than this, but I am so disappointed and sad, and I've never had blood pressure. I got my blood pressure taken the other day. It was 240 over crap. I can't remember. 240 over something. I really hate to take it now. Today, sitting here going through all this, finding out I'm not going to be able to see my own daughter. My hands were shaking. I couldn't. My heart was beating hard and fast, would not stop. I started feeling dizzy. My eyes felt a little. My vision was blurry. I mean, I just wanted to see my daughter for 80 seconds, and then see her afterwards, and hear what they did. Hear from the doctor. Wouldn't you want that? Please, y'all, people on the fence and you spies, just listen to the other side. Boy, you really might be surprised at what you don't know. What do they say? There's 3 sides to every story. His side, her side, and the truth. Well, I got a stack of papers. I got all kind of stuff. You're more than welcome to come check it out, or I'll send it to you, or meet you, whatever you want to do. This is beyond not right, and freaking family court allows this all the time. See, I have to actually work and do things. I can't sit around and plot how can I screw somebody for almost 5 years now. She still doesn't have to work. You know, when you have one of these protective orders and you've claimed physical abuse, when you've played that whole physical abuse lie, that you automatically qualify for all kind of free benefits. She still has not worked. She didn't work for like the last, 7 or 8 years that we were married. And she still has not had to work after she snuck off with the children in January of 2013, has not worked since then. Isn't that a good use of government benefits? And you know what's sad about this? People that lie and scam and pull this false protective order maneuver, the false protective order maneuver, I think they take resources from people that really need them. I mean, I'm sorry that there have been thousands, maybe millions of bad men who have done. I'm sorry there's been a whole lot of bad men who have done a whole lot of bad things. There just has been. So that's why we need protective orders. I mean, even though studies show they don't really protect anybody, a lot of the studies show that they actually enrage people to the point to where they do go out and do something. But whatever. But even though there's been a whole lot of bad men who've done a whole lot of bad things, I am not one of them. I ain't done a freaking thing. I have tried everything I can legally do to get to my children, and I get slapped down along the way every freaking time. Every time. What kind of system is this, man, that will allow somebody to lie? Not only to lie, but you don't need any proof. Boy, I really pray this doesn't happen to you or your son one day. Yes, it does happen to women too. It definitely does happen to women, but it just disproportionately happens to men, especially here in Indiana. I've even had female lawyers and other just women in general tell me that. So I know I left some things out. I'm so disappointed and mad. You see this building behind me? My daughter is in there. I don't know if she's awake yet. I don't know if she's going to be told her dad was here. Oh, yeah, the pediatric the pediatric social worker, after I told them, you know what, just go ahead with the surgery on schedule, don't hold it up, waiting for the mom to maybe have a change of heart. That's not going to happen. So I hurried up and wrote a letter. I had some graph paper. That's all I had. I wrote a letter on graph paper, and I begged her. I said, would you please read this to my daughter? If you give it to the mother, she won't read it. She won't read it to her. She might, I mean, I can only speculate what she would do, but I wouldn't be surprised if she were to grab it out of her hand and tear it up, or say, oh no, I'll read it to her later, and, you know, of course, destroy it. So I begged her to read it to her. I don't know if that got to happen or not. I just don't know. So I'm leaving out some stuff, man. I'm just so out of it, but I've got to go walk over here and get in the van. Valerie has got to get back to Anderson, and we got to pick up the boys. I'm sure a bunch of people will say this was a mistake. You shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't put anything on Facebook. Usually those are the people that are really kind of private anyway and don't really talk to people anyway, but I don't have anything to be private about. I'll tell you that right now. Especially this. I want everybody to know just how horrible this is and was, and this is why I've done this GoFundMe campaign. I hate having to do a freaking GoFundMe campaign, but $221 a week child support, which is already mathematically impossible enough to pay, and then I have to try to go to court. Now I've got to go to court to fight this false protective order, and now we're going to file now we've got to file something for this crap that happened today. That's two things, and they won't put it in the same hearing. So please, if you haven't seen my GoFundMe campaign or haven't donated, even if it's $5, I mean, anything will help, because if I'm not able to go to court just because of freaking money, I've even got gear on my Facebook page that I'm selling. I'd plan to give it to a church or like a mobile church that's just trying to get started. Just give it to a church, but I've got to try to sell it. I need every drop, any drop of money I have. Even if you know of any band that needs a sound guy, I will do it. I don't care if it's a dang Klan rally in Elwood at night. I will do it. As long as I get paid, I will do it. If you know anything or any way that I can make money so I can go to court to fight to see my children and fight off this freaking false protective order. See, the thing about this false protective order is my kids are involved in things. They do things. My son's in marching band. He's so good that they put him in high school marching band. He wasn't even in high school yet, without even auditioning. And I don't get to see him do anything. My oldest daughter, Emily, has a perfect pitch singer, and she's in her school band, not the marching band. She's in the school band. I'm not even allowed to know what school that is. I'm not even allowed to know where they live. Please, if you could donate, man, $5 or $10. I got like over 1,800 Facebook friends. If anybody can help, please do. I'm going back to the van now. All my real true friends, and I love you. And I don't consider myself to have any enemies, but if you're an enemy, I love you too. If any of you can help, please do it. If this was a mistake, oh well. A lot of people have done a whole lot worse than get on Facebook and tell the truth. Thank all of you.